How's it going, everybody? This is Beat the Bush. Today, I'm going to talk about mileage reimbursements because sometimes when you work for a company, they reimburse you for the mileage that you use if you use your own car. When you go to a conference or something like that, you drive 20 miles, you may get back something like 50 cents per mile. And most of the time when I talk to people, they're actually thinking they're making money for every single mile they drive because it's more than offsets what they pay for gas. So let me just tell you now, after you factor in everything, you're probably not making money, really. It's just break even. The IRS thinks you should get about 54 cents per mile if you use your own personal car for business purposes, other than, driving to work. You don't get reimbursed for driving to work. So right off you might think, hey, gas is about $3 a gallon and maybe your car gets about 30 miles per gallon and you just divide that, you get, 10 cents per mile. And then your employer reimburses you 54 cents per mile. So really, every single mile you drive, you're earning 44 cents. So then you might think, hey, if I drive 1,000 miles, I can get $440 worth of reimbursement. That's like a lot of money just for, taking the car out. But then what you don't realize is that pieces of that $440, it's going to be paid into different things. And by the time you're done paying all the things that really cost you, you're not going to get much left over. So most people are not just going to say you only pay gas. Of course, you're going to factor in other things such as the insurance that you have to pay, the maintenance such as tire, oil change, repairs, car wash, the coolant, washer fluid that you put in, more brake fluid, transmission fluid, timing belt, oxygen sensor, repairs, things like that, new light bulbs if they ever burn out, etc. Just kind of repair, maintenance things. And of course, you have the cost of the car that initially you have to pay out in order to obtain the car. Now, the other things that people don't usually count because they are not really visible right when you use the car for something is car depreciation. If you use your car for a certain number of miles, it's going to depreciate. And if you use it for a certain limit of miles, your car is going to depreciate to zero. Car depreciation is a real fact. The newer the car, the faster it depreciates. So if you use a new car for a work thing that you drive for work, it's going to depreciate a lot and it's probably going to use up that whole 54 cents per mile. Another thing is the commute time, the time you actually have to spend in order to drive from one place to another. If you are using company time, then yeah, okay, maybe then you don't have to calculate this. But if you have to drive 2 or 3 hours or something, it does not count towards your actual work time, then that is time that is out of your pocket. Another thing is the health risk involved because driving is dangerous, okay? The more time you spend on the road, the more dangerous it is because it's just a matter of probability. You can be as safe as you want, but eventually something may happen, okay? And so there's an increased level of risk. Let's say you double the amount of time you're on the road and you double your chances of getting into an accident. Now there's the mileage efficiency thing. If you have a car that is super efficient, then that's great because then you don't have to spend that much on gas. However, there are things that will affect the efficiency, such as your AC usage, heat usage. I'm not saying don't turn those off or something if you really need them, but if it's cold, use the heat. If it's hot, use the AC. But those do affect your mileage. There's also tire inflation, just basic things that will keep your mileage at optimal, just so that you won't be losing when you do the driving for work. There's also the matter of aerodynamics because if you stick bikes on top of it and drive it around, you're gonna lose a few miles per gallon. And those are major things that will reduce your mileage. On top of that, you can be mounting cases on top of it. And some cars, they have cases where they put stuff in. Those are real drag on the air. And if you're trying to push that thing through the air, it costs a lot of energy. And so you would want to remove those if you're just not using it all the time and just using it for commuting. If you're only getting the car for work purposes, then you have to buy other stuff. Maybe you have to buy a GPS, car adapter, or maybe if you want to change the audio system, or maybe if it breaks, all kinds of costs that's associated with owning the car. Now I put in this first one, car depreciation. For example, if you're working for Uber or something, a lot of people don't take into account car depreciation. If you look at only the gas, the insurance, and maybe the maintenance costs, those are the most visible things. It's not going to reflect how much you actually make because by the time you depreciate your car due to these ride-sharing things, you're gonna reduce your hourly wage by a lot. And you're gonna look at it and then go, oh my gosh, I'm only making what? Less than minimum wage or whatnot, which is what it works out to be. Heavy things that you have in the car. If you have a lot of things in there, you don't want to carry those around because that would reduce your mileage as well. The heavier the car needs to move, right? If there's a lot of stuff it needs to move, it's going to take more gas. I know every situation's a little different because certain cars may be more expensive or they're newer so they depreciate more. Other people may have higher insurance rate, etc. But I hope pointing these things out will help you figure out how much it's really costing you. Don't forget to give me a like over here and comment down and let me know if you still think you're getting paid extra for your reimbursement at work. And don't forget to subscribe over here. Thanks for watching.